Britain is a diverse country and is having a proud tradition of hosting refugees over the years. But now the picture seems to be different as the world is going through a very bad phase. There are ongoing civil wars, economic downturns and political turmoils around the world, and this led to human displacement. As UK was having a positive image about providing refuge to displaced people, many asylum seekers and refugees look forward to settle in the UK. But Britain has tightened their rules and policies in the matters of giving shelter to people. So now the asylum seekers and refugees have to combat with the system to prove that they deserve protection, and it takes years now in the British government for a decision to be heard about their appeals.
According to the report published by Refugee Council in May 2014, 5,849 asylum applications were made in the UK, excluding dependents, out of which 2,845 initial decisions were made, in which 32% were granted asylum status and 63% were the refusal in the first quarter of 2014.
The UK is a signature to the 1950 Human Rights Convention, and the UK government has to follow that convention. However, in my personal opinion, I have witnessed kind of a lot of hostility on behalf of towards asylum seekers, a general culture of hostility. And those people that I've been working very closely with asylum seekers, can point out there is a culture of disbelief. So, I mean, Tony Blair came out with the phrase bogus asylum seekers. I know of one person whose immigration status was questionable, and that person was put in prison for working, which seems diabolical, really, because that person was making an honest living, and now that person can't work, has to live on £35 a week, and in some respect is a drain on the state, whereas before they were working. The president of Uruguay had taken more refugees in his home than Britain has.
She is Polish. She struggled and appealed 7 years in Britain to be accepted as a refugee. She describes her journey.
Yeah, in 2006, because I was a human rights activist back in Cameroon, and I was in the opposition political party against the ruling government in Cameroon, it came a time that I had to flee for my safety, and my destination happened to be United Kingdom. When I just came to Britain, I felt frustrated, and when you leave your loved ones behind, leaving my son behind at a very teenage age then, and coming here to go to the Home Office to tell them the reason that I'm here for, and just for somebody to say they don't believe you, then you start asking yourself questions, but why will I lie? And I was not happy because they didn't believe me, and because I didn't have good legal representations at the time. That's made me to be in Britain for 7 years plus to be accepted as a refugee. In 2007, I got detained in Yasu Detention Center, which was not a very good feeling or good situation. And I was there for 8 days, and I told them it's unlawful for you people to detain me, because what basically I need from you people is my refugee status. I need refugee protection because I believe I'm a refugee.
Many British citizens have a soft corner for the asylum seekers and refugees, and they are protesting against the policy of the government, who is totally against these vulnerable groups. They are trying to pressurize the government in the form of a strike so that their voices can be heard. Many organizations concerned with the asylum seekers and the asylum seekers itself actively participated in the demonstration and appealed for the right to work in the UK, which the government has prohibited for them, and they have to rely on the state benefits, which is only £5 a day.
I'm a supporter of Amnesty International and also of Birmingham Asylum and Refugee Association, and that's why I'm here today. I'm here to support not only this demonstration, this strike for fair pay and proper conditions for working people, but also in support of those working people who don't have jobs, and that includes asylum seekers who are not allowed to work, and they can be forced into destitution, and I think that is contrary to their human rights. So one of the demands that we have for asylum seekers in particular is that they should have the right to work. So asylum seekers are not, aren't allowed to exercise their full human rights in this country. When they come, they are not treated with respect very often. Sometimes they are locked up. We know that they are in many cases brutally deported. There have been cases of people who have died during that violent deportation process. All of this is obviously contrary to their human rights.
Asylum seekers and refugees only ask for dignity and appeals to government for receiving a fair and human treatment. She is Anusha from India, and she tells us why she claimed asylum in the UK.
I claimed asylum just because I got married to my husband here. He's from the other religion, he's from Hindu. He's a Hindu actually, and I'm a Roman Catholic. The main problem is my parents doesn't want a Hindu boy in the family, and they started threatening me. We fell in love, and accidentally we have to get married. And we got married here in Leicester. They didn't accept, and they tried to threaten me that go for abortion and all this. They think it's a bad blood in my home, so yeah, that's how I have to get married and I have to claim asylum, just for my security and my baby's security. That's it.
She further tells us how the British government reacted on her asylum application.
My main interview has been done. According to the rules, they say that within 6 months you need to get a decision. It has been 3 years now. I have not given a chance. They only just say whenever you call up, and that's they just say that your case is on heavy flow of cases are going on. We'll see back to you, and you know you need to wait for the decision. Just that, but how long you need to wait? We don't know what happens the next minute. Obviously, yeah, I can't say natural calamities, but this is something which is in your hands. I can't stop the natural calamities. What happens next time, whether I live or no, I don't want that. But living with the stress is completely different. For 3 years, you just don't know what happens tomorrow, what happens the next day, how you're with a kid. You're just like a criminal. You treat people like a criminal. You treat, you don't have a freedom. You don't know what happens when. You're almost like a slave in this country, obviously.
There's not much place at the garden.
She is Mary Carroll, a former member of Restore organization who supports refugees. She runs a therapeutic garden once a week in her house to support asylum seekers and refugees. She tells us how she helped these people in rebuilding their lives.
We have many asylum seekers and refugees are part of our group, though it's not an exclusive group. And people come every week to work in the garden, socialise with each other, have a cup of tea, share their problems, share their joys. And we've been doing this for about 7 years now. So I've met many asylum seekers and refugees in the course of the garden.
She also tells us how these asylum seekers and refugees survive with the terror of detention in their daily life.
Taking away somebody's liberty, I think, is especially in the way that it's done, because they will just go along to the centre to sign. They may have to go there every week, every month, and every time they go there's a danger that they may be taken into detention without warning. And this is a real worry to them, so you can imagine the fear every time they visit that place. You know, am I going to be taken to detention? And they've committed no crime, so why are we locking these people up?
If you are escaping persecution and your destination happened to be Britain, then you have the right to seek asylum under the Universal Declaration on Human Rights, signed by the United Kingdom in the year 1951. It is recognized under the international law that the people who are fleeing persecution may have to use irregular means to enter into another country for their safety. So a lot of people land to Britain in the hope for seeking asylum, but unfortunately most of the people are being taken in by the detention centres every year without any reason, therefore made the right to seek asylum as a daunting process.
how the prohibition of work by the government affects the children, Salim from Pakistan tells us.
Say the people, we are refugee, we are asylum seeker, the people, they don't like us in here, they hate us. They say you have to go back to your country. They have to give us a little part-time job so we can survive our children. We can give them some things because the children, they are growing up. When they grow up, they can do their job themselves. But know the problem, because they are growing, they need a lot of things, but we cannot provide. We always say, stop, 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 we have no money, we have no money. And my children, they have to see me. Papa, he has to stay always in the home. And in the future, is my opinion. I don't know the other people, what they are thinking. If I'm father, if I don't go to the job, then I think my children also, they don't like go to the job because they don't never saw the papa go to job. How they can go to job?
There are few anti-social elements in the UK who used fraudulent practices for the asylum process. And because of these minority groups, genuine asylum seekers who are in majority are suffering today. The British government has to be fair and transparent, especially on the cases of asylum, which needs more attention and a quick decision so that the people who have fled danger can get a new life. The present scenario in Britain has left a question mark on the human rights of the asylum seekers as they are being deported back to their home countries, where there is a possibility of facing torture or danger which is against the human rights, as they only demand justice.